Okay, everyone, episode 708. Let's shut the gate and get on with it. This is Blind Magic in Alice Springs, and I am your host, Murray Stewart, and I shall do exactly that. You know, I was a little unsettled by the boos toward our Prime Minister at the Australian Open Tennis. And why is this so? Well, I guess as a Conservative, and I am, I always get unsettled when a Prime Minister of our nation is treated in this fashion. Because although some Aussies see it as a bit of a fun sport to do so, I see it as an act of disrespect toward what should be a symbol of a proud, solid and stable institution, and that is being the Prime Minister of this magnificent country. But then, on the other hand, I see it as a sign of some unsettling times in our nation. But the one thing that is for certain is I think it's a sign that the Prime Minister's honeymoon period has well and truly come to an end. So why should he be concerned? Well, this time last year, when he made an appearance at the Australian Open, he was applauded, and this year quite the reverse. So what has changed? Well, I guess what didn't help him was the fact that 100 separate occasions he was caught out lying to the Australian public about the stage 3 tax cuts, when clearly he was working behind the scenes to make changes to the very tax regime that he took to the election and that he backed, as I said, 100 separate times. And he's been caught out telling a bare-faced lie 100 times, therefore. So that should be a sign to him that Aussies don't like being lied to. They don't. But I think more concerning for me is that we are beginning to see this unsettling, divisive trend. And in part, the Prime Minister and his Labor team have been responsible. Yes, they have. Some in the Labor Party have supported divisive protests on our streets, some of an extremely racist nature, with the chants such as "gas the Jews." We don't like that. We don't. And also, the Labor Party appear now to be going down the road of class warfare with their tax changes. You know, the old William Tell routine, taking from the rich, giving to the poor. It appears that would be, some may consider that as being a noble gesture. But as I said, Aussies don't like to be deceived. I also think their fanaticism over the climate change debate is also not resonating well with the Aussie public, because energy prices, therefore, are going up and up, contributing to the cost of living difficulties of many Australians. So I don't necessarily think that it is simple to say that it's about Anthony Albanese. I think it's about his system and his Labor Party and their very, and I'm using the word unsettling, approaches to backing such protests and also not supporting those who are doing it very, very hard. But I think what should be concerning for the Labor team is the demographic that booed at the Australian Open. Tennis followers are not like AFL followers or rugby league followers or those who follow cricket. They are the inner city elites. These are the very people who brought home the bacon for the Labor Party at the last election. They either swung from the Liberal Party to the Teals, or they went even further and voted ALP. So a lot of these voters have been natural conservatives for many, many years. So last year they cheered, this year quite the reverse. If the Prime Minister has his antenna up, he would see this as being a very, very unhealthy monitor for continuing with this agenda. He needs absolutely to get on top of the extreme left of the Labor Party. Okay, we've got a problem, and Chris is on top of it. All right, good stuff, Chris. Well done. All right, so, yeah, he needs to get on top of the extreme left in his party, who are getting in behind racist causes in our nation. Yes, he absolutely needs to get on top of that. And he 100% needs to get in behind the average Australian doing it hard with the cost of energy. This and all these matters have been raised by a good friend of mine, John Bell, and his article in today's Herald Sun. Yeah, he penned a very, very good letter. Anyway, folks, that's my say on these topics. I'll be very interested in what you think. This has been episode 708, a Blind Magic Communications production.